Welcome to Art of the Western World. This will be a series of PowerPoint trailers which will be available to you at the end of each lecture. Because this is the first lecture, they'll be available to you at the beginning. The purpose of the PowerPoint trailer is to give you a really brief understanding of the material that we will be covering for the week. One of the first images we're going to look at the beginning of the art history course is the Venus of Willendorf. As you can see, she's a very rotund figure, very round. Art historians have, by and large, believed that she is pregnant. In fact, you can also see that she has very large breasts, and these are meant to be hands, which are placed above her breasts, a very large belly, and although this is her head, the hair itself is meant to be very well braided and very ornately done. This is a side view of the same figure, and here again we see the very large figure, very large female form. What do we know about this and why do we care? Well, first of all, she's not really from Willendorf as in made there. She was discovered in the early 20th century in Willendorf, which is a place in Austria. So her name is a misnomer. So right off the bat, we're seeing that art historians take something from the past and often apply meaning. The other thing we can see about this, which you can't tell from the images, is that she's extremely small. She can fit into your hand. And from this, we can tell a lot. We can tell that this is a migrant culture, a culture where people move, and because they move, they take small objects with them. So this is not a gigantic statue, a column attached to a building. This is something that was portable and taken with you. She is also very interesting when we look at her from a full frontal view, in that it was so important that they highlight the characteristics that show that she is fertile. So we see again the large breasts, the extended abdomen. We can even see vulva. They've gone to the trouble of showing you the genitalia. So why was this? Well, there's a lot of debate as to what the Venus of Willendorf's purpose was. Some art historians have argued that she was designed to basically to honor women, to honor the fact that women can reproduce, that they can create a fertile environment where their children can grow and where their culture can be prolific. Another interpretation, however, is that she is one of the few remaining figures, and we have found places, caves, where women of the similar design have been smashed on the ground. And so the understanding there is perhaps that these fertility figures were made to capture the power that women had, and then when you smash them on the ground, perhaps you were trying to destroy that power. So art historians don't know the meaning of the Venus of Willendorf. The only thing we do know is that she's small, she's portable, and she's fertile. Now if we move on to the end of the course, we're going to see a video artist, a performance artist called Matthew Barney. At first glance, they may not have anything to do with each other, but what we do see is a transformation of figures. Both of them are human forms, and throughout art history, this is certainly one of the most popular things for artists to do, is recreate the human form. The Cremaster cycle then is a series of 5 films. They were released on the internet, they were played in galleries, they were released in an odd sequence. So for instance, Cremaster 4 came out before Cremaster 1. And in Matthew Barney's work, we see the manipulation of the body. In this case, he's created a kind of mythic figure, just like the Venus of Willendorf is mythic. In fact, she's named after Greek and Roman mythology. And if you look carefully at this image that Matthew Barney created, you can see that he has some of the characteristics that we might expect of a Greek or Roman god. Physical perfection, certainly the whiteness of the figure looks a lot like a marble statue, and also the strange kind of owls and birds, I think they may be parrots actually, on his shoulders. And the final image, which I'll give you a viewer discretion. For those of you who have squeamish, you might not like this image. This again is a Matthew Barney. And what we see here does relate to the Venus of Willendorf, in that this crazy hat is actually a very well designed hair form. And it's a hair form that overtakes, just like with the Venus of Willendorf. So if we go back and look at her hair overcompensates for her entire body. And her face is kind of lost in that. And here we also see kind of a great deal of violence. Certainly the cloth in Matthew Barney's mouth representing an enormous amount of violence. And from what we know of the Venuses of Willendorf, not just the one that remains, but those that were smashed, there is also an understanding that there may have been a great deal of violence associated with the fact that these women were fertile. So this is just a brief overview, a kind of trailer to give you an idea of what might be coming in your next classes. And for now, say goodbye and take care.